TunePocket.com. TunePocket.com.
Good day to everyone out there, and welcome to the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am Sean Ferrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And before we get into it, it seems like my story has set off a wave of positivity, to those who heard it. Believe it or not, I was set to have my first speaking engagement last night, but there were some issues involved, so that has been rescheduled to next Friday. So believe it or not, the Sean Ferrell podcast is actually going on the road. So I'm excited about my first speaking engagement. God has blessed me with, God is blessing me to impact more people. And I'm just looking forward to it. And I can't wait. And for those of you who may ask, where are you going? I will actually be going to Jonesboro. So I will actually be driving to Jonesboro on Friday. And so gonna tell a extended version of my story there, which is the speaking engagement, and also gonna do a podcast there too. So I'm excited. God has blessed me in a major way, and all glory to him. Okay. All glory to him. With that being said, let's not waste no more time. Let's get right into it. So, international survivors of Suicide Loss Day is coming up. I will actually be there at the event they're having in Memphis. I was there last year as well as a volunteer. I will be volunteering there again this year. It's never easy losing someone to suicide, especially someone you love. The young lady that you saw, the one that you saw at the Memphis walk, Emily is her name. She will actually be I believe she actually has her son's suicide note that she will be reading on Friday. It's probably going to be some, I know there's going to be some tears shed. And when she said that she was going to read her son's suicide note, that made me think of the suicide note that I had when I wanted to end my life when I was in my early 20s. And it had to do, and it said I was going to write to my mom and dad, you wanted me out of the house. guess what? I am now out of the house. Okay. And for those of you who may not know, even at the age of 37, going on 38, and I still, to this day, live with my mom and dad, okay? And it has been a source of suicidal ideation, okay? Okay. And it has been a source of suicidal ideation for me. It has made me feel less of a man, okay? And people tell me, oh, it doesn't make you less of a man. In my mind, it does. In my mind, it does, okay? And I think that the fact that I still live with mom and dad has really affected potential relationships. It hasn't impacted friendships, but it has impacted potential relationships as far as from a dating aspect. Okay, I know it has impacted there. And I just tell the honest truth. Hey, and it has impacted, like I said, it's impacted my dating, potential relationships. And when that starts to happen, you start seeing yourself as not a man, okay? I saw myself as that. I've been struggling to get rid of that stigma, so to speak, that I am not a man just because I live with mom and dad. And I've had people tell me that. It doesn't make you any less of a man. I really struggle to disagree with that. I really struggle. And I don't agree with that perspective. I really don't. I don't agree with that perspective. And I've almost ended my life several times because of that. And I'll never forget. Well, this was just recently. I was talking with one of the good friends who's on the Nashville walk chair, who's on the Nashville walk committee. We talk regularly, and I said, this has really impacted me as far as dating and whatnot. And I told her it makes me feel less of a man, and she disagreed with that. And she was like, well, just find somebody who's more understanding. And needless to say, I have not tried, because I don't think there's any woman out there who would really understand a grown ass man who lives with their parents. You know what I'm saying? So, tie it into the fact that, that, um, that even if I do, meet someone and date and is able to date her, even if I do meet someone and I'm able to date her, in my mind, there's always the feeling of I'm going to have to work extremely hard to show how much, I like her, and show how much that, and I have to work in the back of my mind again. I have to feel that I have to work very, very hard just to prove that. And I have to work very, very hard to, what's the word I'm looking for? Have to work very, very hard to make her feel positive vibes, so to speak. Okay. I've had to work very, very hard. And you may ask, well, how does this all tie into suicide? Well, it makes you feel like that you're not good enough, that you're not enough for anybody or anyone, okay? And when you feel that way, about yourself, you start looking at it from a more darker perspective. And you say to yourself, well, I'm not loved by anybody. I'm not wanted by anybody. No. Why not? Why not in my life? And so, yeah, just a lot of my I would say 60% of my suicidal ideation came from living with mom and dad. And I would say part of it came from, being made fun of. If I did not mention it in my last video, I always didn't have my front teeth, okay? I always didn't have my front teeth, okay? Now, I talked a bit about this at the walk. I got hit by a car in 1994, around 94 or 95. I was injured pretty badly, but made a 100% full recovery. I didn't lose no teeth. I just had cuts, scars, had to wear a cast for the whole summer. Ended up missing the entire summer, if I am correct. But I would say the second one was just as bad, if not worse, when I flipped my bike and I landed head first and I immediately blacked out. This one, I actually lost these teeth right here. These teeth right here. So I always didn't have front teeth. I remember I told Emily that I wore partials for the next 15 years, from 2000 to around 2015, when I got these teeth, my permanent teeth, put back in. Okay. And so I was called OG at this is when I was a freshman in high school. This all started when I was a freshman in high school. I was called OG. And in my case, OG, for me at least, stood for old grandpa because I had no teeth at the front. So old grandpa was what I was called by certain students, and was routinely made fun of by other students as well. But yeah, but Emily said she was going to share her son's suicide note this Friday. And yeah, yeah, yeah. But so I was also thinking about this the other day. I remember when Tony Dungy lost his son to suicide back in 2005. He lost his son to suicide a day before the Indianapolis Colts were set to play the Pittsburgh Steelers in a playoff game. Okay. So, losing a loved one to suicide is never easy, and I can imagine how hard it must be for Coach Dungy. Back then, I can imagine how hard is for just the regular, everyday, common man, woman, who has lost a loved one to suicide. No more Thanksgivings together. That's gut-wrenching for me to think about. I haven't lost anyone to suicide, but that's real gut-wrenching. When I think about when I think about Emily's situation, much less Tony Dungy's situation. No Christmases together. No Easters together. No 4th of July's together. And I can't even imagine how gut-wrenching it must be for the everyday man, woman, who has lost a loved one to suicide. I know it's gut-wrenching, it's tough. And that's the reason why we have events like these. So people can come together and just know that other people have lost loved ones to family, have lost family members to suicide as well. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why we hold events like these. It's one of the reasons why we hold events like these. And it will be November 18th. So that's a couple of weeks away. There's the info right there. November 18th, 9:30 to 1:30. There's the info on the card for people in Memphis. This is where the event's going to be held. Okay, this is where the event is going to be held, and yeah, this is why we hold events like these. Yeah. Like I said, it's just gut wrenching for me to think about. Okay, about what? Yeah, that's pretty gut wrenching right there. It's pretty gut wrenching, and makes me even more blessed to have shared my story with everybody, and I know God is going to bless me to impact others as well, and I think He's already doing it. Like I said, the Sean Ferrell podcast is going on the road next week to Jonesboro. And again, my first speaking engagement. I'm really excited about it. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to meet a lot of new people, and I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. All right. That's it for the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am out of here. God is great. All the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ is Lord. Oh, and I forgot. 988 Hope. If you're ever feeling any distress, just dial 988 Hope. It just might save your life. So there's always hope. Dial 988. All right, y'all. Out of here. Peace. God bless.